10,
9, 8,
7,
6,
3, 2,
1.
0.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Dash League Network presentation. We have UNSC taking on, who are they taking on? Phoenix, I think. Let's see if we can get this to refresh. There we go. I'm your caster FireHorse. I'll be joined by some commentators shortly, hopefully. This is a Dash tier matchup, but it should be a good one. Today's maps are Launchpad, Quarry, and Stadium will be our decider if it goes one apiece. This is Phoenix Roster, Abrakas.com, Ace, Aussie, Vune, Mr. Pump, Zarluin, One Time, Destroyer, IJB, and it looks like they've got another couple. Benji and Ichigo. Boy, what a lineup. And if we're looking at UNSC, you've got One Up Crit, N-Dubs, Bible Crusader, Crusader VR Moderation, who you just heard on one of the casts earlier on. Socratic Colton, sorry. Fourth, Dark Ghost Taser, Oogie Boogie, and Style Dead. Another crack lineup. If any of you commentators out there want to jump in the booth with me, feel free.
What's up, FireHorse? And join for a little bit.
Cool.
I'll drop once the map starts to follow the rules. How are you doing today?
Yeah, pretty good. This is number 3 before I take the rest of the day off.
Nice. This is going to be a good match.
I reckon.
I kind of feel this season we're doing a little bit better with the matchups. Last season, we had a lot more kind of maybe mispaired matchups and took to about till cycle 3 before we got some real good head-to-heads. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Most of the matches have been pretty close. Look, I think those 3 top teams have disbanded, and we've seen the talent spread across the teams has certainly thrown a spanner in the mix as far as trying to predict who's going to win.
That is true. I think Season 5 is going to revitalize the league. You know, obviously UNSC, we picked up Taser, and then we also convinced Dark Ghost he was going to sit out this season, but we were able to pull him back in, and the UNSC has a pretty good shot.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I wish I could commentate, but I saw Style Dev was in here, so I thought I'd hop in for a minute.
Yeah, I figured it's fine until it starts.
Yeah,
Plus,
no board bias whatsoever.
watch some, eat some dinner, and watch the match. And I have to say, this season I've been really enjoying watching all the different matches going on.
Oh yeah, this season is like my favorite by far, for sure. It's not even part way through. It's already just awesome because the competition is so much closer now.
That, and I think like FireHorse was saying, it being playoffs aren't really determined. Top 3 teams aren't determined. It's gonna be interesting. I think playoffs will be a lot of fun to watch as well.
Yeah, I've got a really good idea on the top 4 teams, but I don't know who the top 3 or top 2 are. But there's a lot of close competition, even down the lines. There's people that are in Sprinter right now that could finish in the top 5. We'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm super excited.
I think the largest drama we've had recently is just people getting caught up into the 24-hour alias or nickname lock, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to not change your name 24 hours before a match. Like, it's really not that hard to do.
Yeah.
Prepare to start.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of aliasing, but I get it. People forget. Heck, if Fourth Horseman and I can forget to charge our batteries for our headsets before a game, I can understand forgetting an alias, but yeah, we need to pay attention. All right, we are starting.
All right, let's go UNSC.
I'm dropping. Good luck, y'all.
3, 2, 1, go. First elimination.
Yeah, exactly. Bugger off. Let's get some new commentators in here.
Hey, how's it going, FireHorse? What's going on? I'm a little late from work, but I made it. We got... .com dirty with the rockets, per usual. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to this one. This is two top teams going at it. We've seen them play their other matches. Actually, I don't think Phoenix has played yet. I think this is their first matchup this cycle, but UNSC played just incredible against Loop the other day. Like, just some next level stuff. Ooh, .com. Not next level stuff, blowing themselves up. Looks like Phoenix is doing a great job of holding the area around the health rock. Super crucial to lock that down before you do anything else in this area. And great disruption from Vune. It's always such a tricky spot I find myself when you disrupt. You know, do you stay up there? Do you chase somebody running away and then you get somebody behind you? Always love watching how other players kind of crack that nut and figure out what they're going to do in those situations. Two minutes and 28 seconds left. This is still definitely doable by either teams. You know, Red keeps somebody on cart, keeps the sight lines locked down, you know, gets somebody up there and disrupting now and again. They could absolutely make this hold, but Blue gets a couple of great group ups. You know, it's really anyone's game at this point with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left under the SMG bridge. Great rockets by .com again. Hey, what's up, Gollum?
Hey, I think I'll have just enough time to commentate this first match. This is absolutely crazy. But honestly, this matchup specifically is one I've been looking forward to for a long time. For before even UNSC absolutely walloped Loop. Because both these teams are very, very experienced, very solid, or at least Phoenix has come and gone. Like its namesake many times, but all the players on the team currently are very experienced, and UNSC meanwhile has played together for a very long time, and as has been brought up, the recent adds of Dark Ghost and Taser are really, really good adds, especially for the team coordination that they try to have going on pretty consistently. It's really at this point, there's a chance that Phoenix is going to be able to hold UNSC off from getting through the checkpoint, but if UNSC is able to push with groups of 4, at least, consistently, like it seems like they've been able to do, they're going to continue to get consistent movement onto the cart, and it's going to be hard for Phoenix to not just hop on the cart and then get suicide killed by Oogie Boogie. I didn't even realize he was hiding there on the corner. It's going to be hard for Phoenix to take ground back, rather, is what I was trying to get to. As you saw, as soon as .com hopped off the cart, Crusader was able to hop on and get just a tiny bit of movement. It wasn't much, but it was something, and now the cart is underneath the checkpoint. However, this is looking a little bit difficult for UNSC. They might not be able to make it through if they don't get a group of 5. That was a good Rockets, 3 kills. Able to get underneath the checkpoint. Can UNSC follow up quickly enough? The triple stack underneath the cart. Let's checkpoint.
Checkpoint! Nice work by UNSC.
But that was a really nice final push by UNSC. However, you can see how close that was. These teams are very well matched, and there's every possibility that Phoenix is going to be able to take this back if they're able to hold UNSC off just as well post-checkpoint as they did pre-checkpoint, which I think they might be able to do. You can see Oogie Boogie was disrupting a moment ago, Vune able to get that clear, and now it's just UNSC around the cart. However, they have their whole team there, so Vune might find disrupting a little bit difficult. 1 up. Low on health. I like this cart stacking that UNSC is doing. They're doing very good about stacking the cart and also hopping off at the right moments to maximize cart time in this first area where they have that huge advantage. And they're still double stacking the cart and also trying to disrupt triangle. You can see on the minimap they have 2 people around the triangle area. 1 up. Trying to use the cart for defense. Aussie able to get through with those double rockets. But Crusader able to take him out mid-dash, and now they're double stacking on the cart, and there's no pressure from Phoenix on the cart. Is Phoenix going to be able to wipe the triangle? No, it looks like they're just skipping it through the shotgun. Hopefully that was called out. It looks like Crusader had a teammate covering him, and Phoenix is slowly but surely starting to try and get control of this outside triangle area, but UNSC is consistently putting just enough pressure that Phoenix is not able to skip forward onto the cart until just now, like they did. Boogie Boogie able to take out .com and Aussie, but Vune able to follow up. Now, are they going to be able to set up a defense, or is Dark Ghost going to be able to get something done while the rest of his teammates fly around the cart? It looks like a couple of UNSC passed by. Dark Ghost gets taken out, and now we can see Phoenix starting to get a bit of a hold. Taser pushing past, trying to take out those sharks. Not quite able to do it, and his teammate follows up, and that's all that you need. And we still got 4 minutes 18 seconds, top of the hill. This cart is continuing to move forward slow and steady. It's not necessarily flying like an absolute domination, but this consistency post-checkpoint has been very good on part of UNSC, especially if they're able to get underneath the rocket bridge before 3 minutes. Before 3.5 minutes.
It just has such great balance on the cart right now. They're never getting caught off guard by a disruptor. They're always making sure they have two. They're double stacking when they need to. This is some textbook stuff right here.
This is definitely a match for other teams to study if that's something that they're interested in. You can see a lot of quality positional plays by both sides. I would say in general, Phoenix has been good at trying to recover as quick as they can, but they need to be together just a little bit more. Just that some slight change in one way or another, I think, is going to help give Phoenix the game, because right now, UNSC
under the
is
bridge
just
in
playing a little
320.
bit solid.
Yeah, UNSC's group ups just really have Phoenix just a little bit. It's not huge, but just a little bit on their heels, and that's really making the difference right now. That was such a great push to the rocket bridge.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're underneath the rocket bridge at 3 minutes, like I was saying. Oogie Boogie able to take out the one who is near the cart and is now trying to watch high above. Now Phoenix is able to push in, and that's almost a wipe. Yoon trying to solo hold the cart. There we go, that's a really important kill. One Up is not able to get any cart movement while the rest of Phoenix tries to catch up, when his teammates try to catch up, and now Phoenix has a little bit of a hold going on. It looks like UNSC's not trying to flank through the triangle that much. They're just staying laser focused on the cart itself. But you can see that their deaths are kind of getting spaced out just a little bit. So when they don't get kills like Crusader did just now, where it's important one-on-one fight, and whoever wins determines cart movement, then grouping up just takes a little bit longer. However, they're still able to make do despite that .com trying to survive long enough maybe to get some rockets. Maybe he's just going to set up and disrupt some group ups. That looks like is what he's trying to do right now. Gets a kill on high rail, tries to get another kill there, steals the dash and turns around, but Oogie Boogie able to take him out. And now it's just Phoenix around the cart, UNSC pushing. You can tell this is going to be a solid push because there's a lot of UNSC still left alive altogether and with dashes. All those three essential elements to a good push. Looks like for the most part they got checked. .com's trying to do something with the disruption, kills one. Almost gets a second. No, Dark Ghost barely able to survive thanks to the help from his teammate. Now pushes forward, got the health. Tries to get a kill on whoever was on that bridge. Abrackers gets a kill on Oogie Boogie. I wonder if Oogie Boogie crashed. It looks like they weren't moving at all there for a moment. That would be a really unfortunate timing for UNSC. If that were the case, Dark Ghost skips to the cart trying to pull Phoenix's attention away from the disruption. That's starting to work a little bit successfully. I like the disruption that I'm seeing from Phoenix. If they're able to continue to send players forward like .com, like they've been doing, I think it's really going to hamper UNSC's momentum, because right now UNSC definitely had the momentum. Got 2 kills, there's still 2 left on the cart. Oogie Boogie staying behind smartly, trying to get long-range kills on whoever pops out. Now we got a little bit of movement there. I wonder if Oogie is going to move through triangle with Taser, or if he's going to stay here on the outside and try and kill .com if he comes back with low dashes. Looks like UNSC is moving on the cart, and whoever was disrupting by Phoenix got taken out. Oogie Boogie grabs the triangle dash, gets a kill on Ozzy, and it's now just him on the cart. Gets another kill on Abrakas. Vune able to follow up. That was an essential follow-up there. And Phoenix has been very good on the red grouping. And following up around the cart and staying very close to it and not overextending their disruptors either. Taser on the cart gets taken out, and now it's just Crusader with the rocket as he takes out .com with the rocket. .com, there was nothing he could have done there. That's the key with the defensive rocket, is you're able to hit around the corners, hit the ground, and kill opponents before they can even get a bead on you. Good push by One Up Crit, and the rest of UNSC able to follow up. And that was a good disruption by Dark Ghost too, able to circle around and get a few kills and extend this group push. Taser trying to crouch and hide away, gets noticed, and that's it. 86.41% for UNSC. Very solid, however, nothing extremely out of the ordinary. If Phoenix is able to push as consistently as UNSC did, I see every possibility of them reaching this point or even beating it.
Prepare to start.
But I think it's going to be
100%.
close
I
no
love
matter
how
what.
Phoenix just really locked the cart down on that second half near the end. They always had a player on cart no matter who was dying. It's been interesting. Well, what Golem would you attribute to? It seems like teams are pushing a lot further on payload than they were in previous seasons. You know, that 85, 87 kind of used to be it, but now it seems like, 90 is almost the average now. What has anything changed in the meta, or are teams just getting better at grouping up and pushing?
I think it's a mix of the blue team, teams playing on blue, getting better at the group ups, is something that was not quite as consistent across all teams last season as it is now. On top of that, I think there's a little bit of a change in like the next stage of Hyperdash. What teams really need to get together is knowing when to group up on red even, and how much, and how to do it, so that you don't lose time pushing to stop the cart, but can still fight as a team. That was something that Phoenix really figured out when they had that spawn advantage kind of in that last part of the map when they were still red. I think that's one of the big differences that we're starting to notice now.
Great opening shock run by Taser.
That delayed a lot of time in the cart, and Phoenix knows that they have to be double stacking as much as possible. However, now they're only back to single stacking. You remember, UNSC got stopped on the cart a couple times. Oh, excuse me, got stopped on the cart a couple times, but for the most part, they were double stacking in this first zone area as much as possible. And now Phoenix is somewhat starting to do that, but I wonder if that's going to be enough. If they're able to push slightly more consistently in this last zone where .com and his ally are right now, then they'll be able to make it through the checkpoint for sure. But if they're not able to do that when they have the spawn disadvantage, that's kind of a difficult ask. There's every possibility that once they hit the bottom of this hill, they might start getting held even more consistently. UNSC, meanwhile, we've noticed their presence around the cart, and it's definitely been causing delays, but we haven't been seeing as much of that group pushing towards the cart, of pairs of people at least, as you would like to see. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier, is Blue has been very good about noticing, across all teams in Dash League. Blue teams have been very good about noticing when they need to group up and staying together as much as possible. Red, meanwhile, the mindset still is just a little bit too much, dashing in, trying to quickly get to the cart and stop it, and not quite enough grouping up together because the objective is not directly in your hands. That's kind of a hard balance to strike, and we're seeing that difficulty here, where Phoenix is absolutely flying down this last zone, staying together very well. They're just pushed past the SMG bridge, and they're at 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. It's pretty much an absolute guarantee at this point that Phoenix is going to make it through checkpoint. It's just a matter of how long until that happens. See Crusaders setting up with the rockets, probably going to peek out just in time. There we go. We can see Phoenix is starting to push, and they're staying all together. Crusader backs up to grab that second rocket and has the dash. Almost gets a hit on cart. Trying to watch for the disruptor. Good kill there, and good follow-up by 1UP too, killing the one who killed Crusader, and now Crusader is going to have time to set up with the rockets. UNSC, now that this decently consistent, constant push that Phoenix has had for the whole section of this map has been checked, is able to set up together, and we know that UNSC plays very, very well together. Oogie tries to get a kill on .com. It looks like .com's going to try and kill the rockets. I was kind of lost for words for a moment there, and that's a very essential kill, and now UNSC's going to have a hard time stopping that cart. Oh, there was one UNSC player who managed to make it all the way past, and now they're setting up close to the cart. I suspect Oogie is going to stay there, stay put, glued to the spot until he can jump on the cart, but he gets taken out, and now there's nobody on red team to hop on the cart and stop these micro pushes and give the rockets time to kill it. And now there's 2 minutes left underneath the checkpoint. If you remember, UNSC barely made it. They had maybe 10 seconds left making it through. Phoenix is doing a very good job, and now I like the shield on carpet. It's too little, too late. We're at 1:56 seconds left, and there's still .com left alive. And there we go, 7 minutes, 51 seconds. It's not looking good for UNSC at this rate. They really have to figure something out if they want a chance to keep Phoenix away from that 86.41%. I like that flank that we saw there a moment ago. Just unfortunately, it didn't work out. Now there's one UNSC player behind the cart. Ozzy's going to go ahead and try and maintain some sight lines so that... Oh, good kill.
Oh, what a rocket.
That was nice.
That was beautiful.
That was also a good call out by whichever teammate said that Taser was right there. That's really good communication on Phoenix's part. So it really goes to show it's a team effort. And now we remember UNSC was double and triple stacking at this point. However, as we saw at the pre-checkpoint, that might not be a requirement for Phoenix. It might be that having more players out and about on the map, able to check any disruption that UNSC might try to do and stop them from grouping up in pairs and triplets, is really going to work out for them. We're seeing they're at 6 minutes 50 seconds, hitting the bottom of the hill. Vune staying in front of the cart, trying to stop UNSC from charging up dashes and then using it to hit the cart. Crusader sets up with the rocket. This is always one of the more challenging rocket spots if you don't have a lot of teammates defending you, and .com takes out the rockets. Kind of goes to show how difficult that rocket spot is because it's so exposed. The only spots you can see the cart without jumping up right next to it are so exposed. Now Taser tries to grab some help or wait for dashes to hit the cart. His teammate gets a kill. Taser doesn't get a dash. Now he's hiding behind the box. He's waiting to push in with all his teammates at once. .com goes behind Taser and hits him with a lag switch. There we go. Taser's back. Don't know what happened there. Now I like this careful positioning by UNSC. They're trying to stay together, stay close around cart. However, there's no cart stacking to be heard of. There's no red players hopping on cart when the blue players start to hop on, and then Phoenix is able to get slightly more micro pushes than UNSC did because of that. Crusader trying to set up with the rockets. Good kill on Brackers there. Grabs the other rocket. Goes for the triangle dash, and someone goes after him in triangle. I bet that's .com. As long as the rockets aren't focused on the cart, that's just as good as a kill on the Rocketeer, because their whole job is to hit the cart. And Crusader gets taken out. Boogie Boogie and 1UP still alive, still there. No! They got taken out, and there's 4 Phoenix players around the cart, and now .com is trying to take control of the triangle, or at least prevent UNSC from getting that. StyleDev asking, can we get less switching from first person and third person on players missing too much during the action? There we go. .com left around the cart, and Ozzy takes himself out. Now there's only 1 Phoenix player on cart, but he's completely alone. No UNSC, no Phoenix. He's able to fly down this rail, and the rest of his teammates are able to catch up just in time. UNSC tries to set something up, but they forget to check the cart. And now they have 1 player hiding behind the cart. Vune sees them dash away, sees their teammate take them out, and now they're able to push through. 4 minutes and 38 seconds, and they're almost to that 86% mark. Is pretty much, once again, guaranteed that Phoenix is going to be able to make it through this checkpoint. This is very well played by Phoenix so far, unless UNSC gets a miracle to happen. This is going to be an L for UNSC. Crusader able to grab the rocket. No, he missed the rocket. Now he's going to go in for a second try, but has to focus on the cart and has to charge up dashes in order to grab that rocket too, or else he's going to be killed as he's grabbing it. And he knows it, so he decides to just stay near the cart with the rest of his team. Now it's just Taser and Crusader on the cart. There's not that much disruption by UNSC. They just haven't had the opportunity to do so. Good kill by Oogie Boogie. However, Vune saw where he was, and he has a teammate behind the cart. I like this flanking positioning that Phoenix has been doing consistently throughout this match. They send 1, maybe 2 players on the cart if they're feeling frisky, and they have players behind whose job it is isn't necessarily to peek around corners ahead of time and get kills, but to see where the enemies are and then post-dash them, or kill them before the enemy can see them coming around the corner. And now it was .com on cart. Taser with the rocket. Knows that he needs to use that rocket as much as possible to hit the cart. Oh, gets a kill on Ozzy, trying to prevent Phoenix from getting any sort of flank so that the rest of his team can just watch the main rail. I think that's the idea here. And I also like all this playing on the cart. They've delayed the cart about a minute, but Phoenix is at 85.79%. And UNSC made it to 86.41. If you remember, this is less than a percent away from making it to where UNSC did. Now Taser, suicide kill on cart, but I think it was worth it because there's no other Phoenix players left around, and now UNSC is able to set up once again. This huge spawn advantage might be able to give them a bunch of delay. However, it's still going to take a miracle at this point for Phoenix to not make it to that 86.41%. We're less than half of a percent away. 1UP Crit trying to watch that main hallway through the triangle. one of the faster paths that Phoenix can potentially take the cart. Good kill on that flanker there through the shotgun. Also like that UNSC is trying to place most of their teammates near the cart. However, they get wiped, and Oogie Boogie gets kills on the cart. However, Phoenix made it through. That's a win for Phoenix. Everything UNSC does from this point is still vitally important for the MMR, for the rankings, so that they don't get sent down to a different tier. However, Phoenix has won this first map. I like the setup by Oogie Boogie, constantly rocketing the cart 2 at a time, and able to watch the flank. This is an interesting position. I haven't seen this position used by Rocketeers on this map at this point very often because it's so open, but with being so open, oftentimes one of the things that you need more than anything as a Rocketeer is knowing when flankers are coming. If you know when the flankers are coming, you can dodge them, shoot your rockets at them even, and then dash away and let the rocket do the work. Good kill on Destroyer there. Oogie trying to stay alive, his teammate helps him out. I feel like he might have died there as his teammate didn't get that kill. And is now setting up near the checkpoint, tomahawking the cart over and over, letting his teammates get the delays on the cart so the rockets have time to hit it.
1 minute
And UNSC has also been pretty good about setting disruptors through the triangle recently, trying to stop Phoenix from grouping up at all, and now we see a 3-person group up, turns into a 2-person, turns into a 2-person and 1 flanker. I wonder if UNSC was able to call out that flanker. No, .com able to take out their rockets. .com gets taken out, of course, and now we're at 40 seconds left. Good kill by 1-up crit. I wonder if something changed with Phoenix. Since they know that they technically won the map, they're not quite grouping up and pushing forward and overall playing as hard, it seems like, as they were before the map. Not in terms of they're trying to give up the map, not at all. But in terms of they were absolutely dominating up until this point. Maybe UNSC just has a very good hold at this part of the map, especially with all the spawn advantage that they have. But Phoenix has really not made that much progress. That's not going to be a huge MMR change if UNSC is able to dominate the Quarry and then win the control point.
Overtime.
And I liked this overtime by .com too. Good positioning at the front of the cart, trying to give his teammates more time to follow up, but not quite enough. Phoenix wins by just barely under 2%. What a close map. Taser going 101 kills. .com at 98.
98. Yup, that is crazy.
Those top 2 players on their team absolutely dominating for kills. Second on each. Dark Ghost 83, Destroyer 81. You can see kind of almost a mirror in terms of kill and score from both teams. It's really close, the pattern that we see.
What a great last second hold by UNSC. I mean, when we were comparing times, we were saying we wanted UNSC to get under the rocket bridge at 3 minutes, which they did. And then Phoenix came through, and at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, they were already at that shotgun alley entrance. So really incredible work by UNSC to knock off that 4 minutes and 30 seconds and just let them get a few more percentage points in that.
Absolutely. Looks like UNSC is going to do a little bit of a player swap for Quarry, which is our next map here. UNSC is famously very solid on Quarry. They have a very good strategy. However, it's going to be difficult to counter fast dashing players like Aussie and .com if they go through the tunnel and can grab that tunnel dash before you do and then avoid you. That's something that I suspect that Phoenix might go for as part of their strategy. In the meantime, if UNSC is able to hold B well enough and then stay together as they push into Phoenix's base, they might be able to eke out a win here and bring it to control point. But based on the KDs that we saw in that last map, that might be difficult. I don't think it's going to be a clear domination a clear domination by either team once we get to this map, despite how different it is from Payload, of course, and how much UNSC has been practicing Quarry even before this season.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Based on, I definitely see Phoenix maybe edging them out on this one. I really like how much they were flanking, how coordinated those flanks were with their pushes. Even going back to what we were talking about, where are these extra pushes from Blue coming this season? And, I think Phoenix did a really incredible job that in those flanks, they weren't always killing the Rockets, but they were doing a great job of taking advantage when they were distracting the Rockets. As soon as Rockets were engaged, they were on the cart fighting. So I was really impressed to see, and I'm interested to see if that coordination translates over to Quarry.
Yeah, obviously we can't hear the comms from either team, but I really like the coordination and callouts that Phoenix had during this match. And the reason I say that is because it's so clear and obvious that they're communicating very well, whatever they're saying, whether they're screaming at each other and just saying the right things, interpreting the right things, or whether they have very cool and silent comms, just the essentials, and very militaristic, whatever they have going on, it seems to be working very well for them, for all players to have all the information they need to make the right individual choices and play together. That's exactly what comms are about.
Absolutely. You know, like you said, the results speak for themselves. When you see a Rocketeer get a couple of blind kills in a map where, you know, there's no way they should have seen where that person was and they still nail him, like that's good teamwork.
Mm-hmm. Looks like both teams are just about ready. Maybe UNSC is just reconfiguring. Oh, there we go. We're gonna have Phoenix start as red on Quarry, which is an interesting choice. I wonder if UNSC made that choice or if Phoenix did, because as we know, or may not know even, for those who don't know, on Quarry, red has some slight advantage because the map is asymmetrical. When you get to B, there's two high platforms in the center of B. One of them has health, that's on the blue side. The other one has a dash, which is on the red side. It's closer to red. Red can get there always, if it's perfect dashes both ways, before blue does. And I wonder which team made that choice to play as red or blue first. But that being said, I'm going to give Phoenix the advantage, at least on the openers, for that reason. Looks like we have 4 from each team. Maybe this will be our first 4v4 match of the season. Wonder what's going on with the player swaps. Maybe both teams are struggling just a tiny bit to get that 5th player wrangled in here. There we go. No, that's Vune for Phoenix. UNSC still waiting for their 5th. Maybe they're really trying to work out something with the comms. There we go. There we go. We got their 5th. Now I suspect both teams are going to be ready soon. We're coming up on maybe 7 minutes at this point. I'm not exactly watching the clock or anything, but that sounds about right to me. Once we hit 10 minutes, this match has to start, as per the rules. So there is a little bit of a timer on how much you can be doing discussions in this game. Looks like UNSC is trying to make the most of that time that they can. And Phoenix is switching players around. Yeah. Thank you, Trevat.
Yeah.
Over on Phoenix, we have Vune.com, Destroyer, and Aussie from the last map, and we've swapped in Benji. Over on UNSC, we have 1UP Crit, Taser, Dark Ghost, and Oogie Boogie from the last map, and I don't think M-Dubs was on the last map, was he? Is he just playing Quarry today, or was he on Launchpad and I just completely am blanking from seeing him?
No, he wasn't. He was he commented something during Launchpad, so no, M-Dubs wasn't in.
Right. M-Dubs is an absolute beast in close quarters, so we might see him going through tunnel along with Dark Ghost like we did against Loop a little bit, and Dark Ghost has been very, very good with the SMGs. I'm sure we're going to see them pick those up consistently. And the SMGs are very good in this map where there's a lot of long passageways or long open fields that have a lot of cover potential. And that's kind of where SMGs shine, is being able to be a mobile turret in one spot at a time and just spray bullets. In the meantime, the main thing I'm going to be watching out for is seeing if either team starts to use rockets at all. It's not necessarily the optimal strategy, but it's also not the optimal strategy in my experience. There's a lot you can do defensively and offensively with rockets, especially around buttons. If you're able to shoot a rocket at a button and guarantee if somebody goes there right in that moment that they will die for sure, then that's huge. That's huge for covering a button, no matter where you are.
Especially with a team like UNSC with their comms and coordination. You know, I've been seeing more and more people busting those out on Quarry, and you know, if your teammates are calling out where they are, some of those blind shots are a lot more doable.
Mm-hmm. It's also, at least in my experience, surprisingly good in tunnel, where you can kind of just shoot at all these different walls where you expect the opponents to be, or even shoot towards the ceiling or the floor. And in this very close quarters, there's not a ton of room for enemies to dodge.
Yeah, shout out to Hodge from Limbo. He's always been doing those lately. He's pretty slick with the rockets in Quarry Tunnel. And it's such an interesting thing, you know, when you get the other team panicking during a countdown and they're just rushing towards button. They're so useful during that. You know, taking out 2 or 3 players at once can just be the finisher in some cases.
Looks like both teams are ready to go at this point, and just waiting for the caster to let them know that we're ready. There we go. I like that little caster movement there. Do we have the blinking lights too? I mean, we might not be able to see it, but it might be fun for them. But... yeah. Well, there we go. Looks like both teams muting up, and we're starting. Here we go. Phoenix versus UNSC. Quarry. If Phoenix wins this one, that's it for UNSC's run. UNSC has to win this map if they're going to bring it to control point and be able to win overall. M-Dubs making his way to B. Taser following up just behind him. It looks like Phoenix has one player in UNSC's base, and now they have their own button. And they had the enemy button, and now they've lost their own button, and now it's a fight at B. I think this opener is a bit of a wash on both sides, and now we're going to be going into more of an active mid-game. But however, UNSC had a countdown. Phoenix just about able to stop it because they already had all their players respawn. Now Yoon going ahead, making his way to B, and he had one friend in front of him and that he's trying to catch up with, as Phoenix got a countdown in UNSC's base, and now they're really trying to push their advantage. You can see there's still 2 Phoenix players left alive in UNSC's base, and 2 UNSC players just died. There's only 2 left. At the button, it's up to Taser to hit that button and get the kill on Ozzy. No, his teammate was able to get it for him. And now Taser is at a split, difficult decision, trying to grab health or move forward. Relies on his teammates to get those kills. .com also taking down the tunnel. That's huge. Now UNSC has the advantage moving through the tunnel. They had control of B. However, I think they're about to lose it. If you check the minimap, Phoenix has some players over there. Phoenix also able to catch UNSC as they're trying to push forward. Good kill by Oogie Boogie. Grabs the dash. Now is quickly trying to dash forward and catch .com with no dashes. Grabs the far dash, trying to get a kill before he hits the button, but gets taken out by Benji. That's just sometimes how the fight goes. I like that decision by Oogie Boogie though. That was a good attempt there to get a little bit more of a lock on Phoenix before UNSC tries to score. UNSC now getting a countdown, and there's 2 Phoenix players that were trapped in the basement. One of them only just barely making it out, trying to counter on UNSC's base. Is Benji gonna make it in time? No, he's not! That's a score by UNSC. Oh man, that's gotta suck for Benji. I feel for him so hard. Ah, man, that was rough. It was so close, down to the wire. Now Phoenix is going to be trying to recover after that first point that was relatively quick, less than 4 minutes. Now Benji gets a kill in tunnel, kill on Dark Ghost. However, UNSC was able to steal the dash, and now Oogie Boogie, good follow-up there, and is going to grab the dash maybe, or he's going to wait for a friend before moving through tunnel. No, he's going to rush straight into Phoenix's base, sees the far dash, grabs it, and now is just running away, trying to be a nuisance and kind of clog up Phoenix in their own base. I wonder if Phoenix is going to be taking the bait. No, Benji takes him out. And now if we look in the bottom left screen, there's Ozzy on B, has some decent control of it, but is waiting for Alice before moving forward and gets taken out. Now UNSC only has the enemy base, and that's a full swap to grabbing their own base, and grabbing Phoenix's base, and grabbing B. Dark Ghost trying to get something done by himself with the SMGs, but gets taken out because, once again, he was by himself. You need those teammates when both these teams are so even, so well matched. Benji going for the dash there. He goes for a skip, missed dashes once, that might cost him his life. There we go, Dark Ghost able to follow up behind, and he had 2 allies in front. Good kill by Dark Ghost too. Now he's grabbing that second SMG, I think he's going to go for the health too. Blind dash around the corner, and he has a friend behind him, trying to give cover for Oogie Boogie. He sees, whereas the opponent was, however, Benji was wise, and able to dash around that corner, tried to get a kill on Dark Ghost. Dark Ghost starting the countdown there, he's just by himself. And now Phoenix able to counter at 2 different points, gets taken out by Benji because he was just not quite aware. I'm really liking Benji's awareness in this map. He's been very good at having a general idea of where the opponents are. He's just not always able to get those kills that he needs to prevent UNSC from getting into the base, but sometimes he is. Sometimes those kills are really essential. UNSC got a good group up on B and is now starting to put pressure on Phoenix's base. I don't think there's going to be a score. No, it's not. 1UP was not holding the button, and now Phoenix has some ability to push out once again. However, Taser was cycling around on B, trying to get some sneaky kills to prevent Phoenix from getting any sort of advantage while the rest of his teammates catch up. We can see Taser on both screens. And now UNSC is holding B, not able to hold Phoenix's base. There's just not quite enough UNSC presence there. However, UNSC has a solid 2 players pushed out in front of B. It's a solid
couple of good kills. Oh, that's a wipe. That's a wipe.
A complete wipe.
That's a wipe.
Wins this round.
Now it's the second point for UNSC. It looks like we might be going to control point if Phoenix is not able to pull something together on this next point.
Match
And here's
point.
the opener here.
Red takes A.
Taser moving forward. Not grabbing that far dash. 1UP steals it from him.
Blue takes
That's fine.
B.
I'm going to go to B.
Red takes
Or
C.
tunnel. And then loses a dash.
Blue team
Getting distracted by one
scores
Phoenix
in
player who I think
counter.
got taken out. Yes, just now. UNSC has their base once again. Taser grabs that far dash, grabs that health, essential. And now UNSC is just missing B. And Phoenix has a decent presence in that terminal outside of UNSC's base. You can see on the minimap they have 2 players hiding there. And UNSC has nobody going to B. They need to circle back or else they're just not going to be able to score. They're just going to be fighting Phoenix players over and over with a spawn advantage on their side.
Blue takes B.
It looks like Taser turned around at just the right moment. Those 2 Phoenix players who were at B turned around to try and get something done or move forward maybe into UNSC's base. And now UNSC has Phoenix's base, has B, is about to lose it. I'm just watching the minimap here at this point because this is a battle of positions, not even of shooting.
Blue takes A.
UNSC is just not quite getting wiped out of Phoenix's base fast enough to be able to do something and their own base and at B and start getting a countdown. There we go. Now we have a countdown on UNSC's part. Taser tries to hold it good. Rockets by .com. That's what I was talking about earlier. Being able to just rocket at the button and know you're going to get a kill if the opponent holds the button is huge. UNSC lost B once again. Phoenix is kind of stalling for time before they can get control of their base, which they have not had control of for the past minute and a half, maybe even 2 minutes at this point, which is really well done on the part of UNSC. However, UNSC just still is not able to get B. There's no point in being in Phoenix's base if you're not able to really expect a countdown to follow up soon behind it, and now UNSC is forced back after getting wiped out. 1UP crit, trying to get something done on B, takes out Benji, and now it's 1UP by himself, waiting for 2 of his allies to pop up with him. Takes a little bit of a peek, skips 1 player, got stuck on the rail. I think he's about to get taken out, yes. Destroyer takes him out along with .com, who's now going through the tunnel, but UNSC has a decent presence on B. And we're getting into a little bit more of a back and forth. Good kill by Destroyer on Taser, that's huge. That's pretty much completely stopped UNSC's offense at this point, and now Phoenix has control of B and is able to push forward a little bit. I wonder if Destroyer's going to wait for allies. No, he gets taken out by Oogie Boogie, who's now going through the tunnel. We can see a little bit more tunnel action than we have B recently. .com versus Oogie. We can see .com in the bottom left. Oogie in the main screen. Also trying to take out one of .com's allies, who .com just skips through. And Benji takes out Oogie because of his slight split. I think .com got taken out also, but it's Benji on UNSC's base. Good kill by Benji. Benji doing absolute work. Takes out 1UP too. Phoenix. They have it. Now they're getting a countdown. Now they're going to hold the button. Is it going to work? Well enough. Good hold by Phoenix. This might be their chance to turn it around and prevent going to control point. If they're able to continue to play together like they did just now. However, we remember that UNSC had a huge advantage in Phoenix's base for so much of that last point. They just weren't able to pull it together and grab B in the meantime. Oogie Boogie playing a little defensive. He knows that .com was on his button. Doesn't even bother going back. He's going to let that one of his allies hit that button. Benji takes out Oogie too. Can he get another kill? Good kill on Dark Ghost. That was huge. Very well played by Benji. He's absolutely out of his mind right now. 22 and 21. The KD isn't great, but the number of kills that he has is insane considering all the circumstances he's been in going through that tunnel. Phoenix has control of their own base and B. M-Dub's trying to move forward, takes out Vyun. That's a little bit of that ping difference. It's not even that one team is multiple continents away or anything like that, but that ping difference is all the difference. Phoenix gets wiped, UNSC wins, and brings it to control point. That was very well done by UNSC. You can see Phoenix was starting to bring something together, but there's only so much change you can do in the middle of a match in order to bring a win. However, that 1 point for Phoenix is going to help with the MMR difference, as well as how long that third and fourth point took. That took time away from UNSC, took time away from their MMR games that they might get too. And I think this control point is going to be a close one, once again.
Yeah, that was a great map. You know, it was a bummer that UNSC got stretched out in the middle there and had, you know, A and C, but just couldn't grab B. It was almost like in Launchpad, you know, when you're spawn locking the enemy team, but you don't have anyone on your cart.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That really is kind of what that felt like, huh?
Yeah, and it was awesome seeing. I mean, that whole Phoenix point was really started off by Benji. Got those 2 kills coming out of tunnel, and then came around and got that second kill and capped the button. You know, that really gave him enough force that enough Phoenix players could get in their button. And then, you know, they were in a similar position for about 30 seconds where they had A and C, and then they just kind of capped B just a little bit quicker. But that was really an awesome match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can I just say once again, like, of all the players in this map, on both teams that were in that quarry, I really think Benji is the clear highlight. Just based on everything he was able to do in tunnel, his awareness from wherever he was, whether he needed to hide or peek around a corner and find the opponent, it almost seems like he was omnipresent in that map whenever he was moving forward, and only got taken out by multiple groups of players. He was also very good in close quarters and had some good long range kills there. Liked to see that on behalf of Phoenix.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Benji did awesome that game. It's like it's almost like riding cart, you know, when you're put in that tough position of being, you know, covering tunnel, you're just going to die a lot. That's all there is to it. But, you know, I never thought that, like you were saying, he never made a really noticeable mistake. Every time he died, it was because there was multiple really good pushes by UNSC. You know, sometimes he was even able to get, you know, 2 kills in those situations or hide in a corner and sneak by them when he could. You know, he engaged when he needed to and provided space for his team. That was an awesome match by Benji.
It looks like Phoenix also is going to just keep their 5 that were playing in Quarry that are fresh, nice and warmed up and used to playing together at this point. UNSC, meanwhile, keeping 4 of their previous players and swapping out Oogie Boogie for Crusader. Wonder what that swap is going to do for them. Maybe Crusader is going to try setting up with some sort of SMG play, or maybe they're going to be close to the button. I'm just not sure. We'll see once the map starts.
Yeah, it's been really fun having SMGs being buffed this season, especially for me, at least for control point, because it really does add that element of, you know, almost having a weapon that's as important as rockets are on Payload. It kind of spreads out the map a little bit more, adds a few more roles and a little bit of depth to it. So, you know, I'm really interested to see what Dark Ghost can do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now that you mention it, makes players like Dark Ghost all that more terrifying. I know in my experience, when we were playing against UNSC on Quarry, Dark Ghost was an absolute menace going through the tunnel with the SMGs. It was just so hard to kill him before he killed you with that insane hail of bullets that were all very accurate. I'm sure that's going to really help out UNSC on this control point. Meanwhile, .com has been very good about disrupting the dash and balancing that between playing a run button. He's a very fast dasher, kind of famous for it at this point. And we're going right into the map.
1, go.
Here we go. This first start here, this first 20 to 40 seconds is going to be very telling, I think, honestly. And Phoenix has a huge advantage right now. They wiped pretty much all of UNSC, and now UNSC is all together as they're respawning, which is great for them. However, not a good sign for them at this point. Good playing around the button by Crusader. Is taken out by Bune with the SMGs. 1-up is left alive, and now UNSC starting to catch up with the points here. This is just wipe after wipe, one way and another. There's not quite as much desperate back and forth as we have seen in some other control point matches. And there we go. UNSC has the advantage once again. Good disruption by Dark Ghost too. Good kill on Ozzy. That was a key kill, and a lot of the UNSC players are playing very close. Good kill by .com too on the dash. They skip straight to the button. Doesn't even bother trying to fight that UNSC player who went to the dash. He knows he's not going to get it. Why not get some control? Good kill by Taser. Good follow-up by his teammates getting control of the button. Taser gets another kill on .com and Benji. That's huge. And now Phoenix has presence at the button, gets another kill there, but does not get control of the button. The rest of UNSC is dependent on to follow it up. However, this is still very close, back and forth. Vyun with the one SMG, he just doesn't have time to go back and get another. Because UNSC's presence around the button has been so constant. Taser missed the button. I think this is the second time he's done that as he's tried to blast past and get some kills. Obviously, his main role is a killer on this map, but if you're trying to pass by the button, that's the objective. That's the whole point. If you're not able to hit it as you're going past, like .com is able to do so consistently here, then why not just take a different route around? .com, very good flying around the button, dashing very quickly. However, he's going to run out of dashes eventually. Crusader was not able to get control of that button there, and Phoenix is now pulling ahead very slightly. However, they have some solid control around the button at the moment. Looks like Crusader tried to follow up there. Good follow up by M-Dubs, gets another kill. Another hit on the button. However, .com is left alive and is low on dashes too. I like this dashing back and forth and balancing between dashing back and forth and holding. Those are really the two main ways that you can try and play around button. Either hold it right there and prevent the opponent from getting dashes, or use the dashes that you get from hitting button and bounce away to try and confuse the opponent. Taser pushing up to his Taser position once again, gets a kill, also gets taken out, and Phoenix has button once again and has a slight advantage. M-Dubs doesn't know that there were two Phoenix players alive around that corner. Taser, is he going to be able to hit the button this time? Lets Crusader take it, and is going to use the button as cover to take out Benji. The rest of UNSC following up. .com, though, playing very fast around the button. UNSC had control for a moment, but it's still very back and forth. Dark Ghost circling all the way around because he knows the rest of his team is dead. Tries to hold the button because he thought someone was going to go up on that ledge, but nobody came. The rest of Phoenix was ready to move in together. I really like this grouping up by Phoenix, this moving in all at the same time rather than desperately rushing for the button one at a time and then trickling in and getting annihilated by UNSC. UNSC, meanwhile, I think they're trickling just slightly more than Phoenix has been doing, and that's able to keep Phoenix in this game. If UNSC was able to move as even slightly more of a group as we've been seeing Phoenix doing throughout this map, then they might be able to actually eke out an advantage and end up winning this map decently solidly over the course of it. However, that is just not the case. Phoenix is ahead at 109. UNSC has control, but Vyun is on that health with the single SMG, so one pistol. It seems to be his preferred loadout at this point. Dark Ghost gets a kill from across the map now. Moving forward to the button, trying to steal the dash. Doesn't have that last dash. Benji takes the dash, and .com takes him out. Dark Ghost just in a bad position. Destroyer trying to follow up on the button, and also has one teammate still there. Taser tries to go for the button, gets taken out by Vyun. Phoenix is starting to pull ahead slowly but surely. It's hard to tell just from the numbers that we see on the board, but I really think Phoenix is going to be able to take this if UNSC is not able to pull something together and start to make a change. Slowly but surely, it's going to be a close one, but Phoenix has held this lead for most of this match of 10 to 15 seconds. It's a close lead, but it's going to be enough. All you need is 1 second ahead, and you're going to win the match. Destroyer solo on the button. Benji follows it up. Dark Ghost able to take out both of them due to them accruing damage, and the rest of UNSC's following up. I like this kind of cycling route that UNSC has been doing, sending one of their killers forward to clear the button, hit it, use that dash to then move forward and put pressure on Phoenix. Good kill on Aussie too, preventing him from moving onto the button. .com goes ahead and steals UNSC's dash and is playing around the button by himself. Can he get that last kill that he needs? Yes, he takes out Crusader and now goes forward onto the health to disrupt. But the rest of UNSC trying to move forward, cycles back because he hears that button got taken. Phoenix still with a 154 to 145 lead, and is now continuing to advance in Phoenix's favor. Also, .com got a very good flank and knows that the dash is about to respawn. However, he has to cycle back to the button because the rest of his teammates got taken out. Destroyer, good last kill, tries to hold the button, but Dark Ghost was able to get it. Destroyer just barely slipped up. And so Phoenix was able to get control of that button once again. UNSC still behind, though. Really needs to change something up so that they can get ahead and maybe comfortably be able to get some sort of win out of this. At this rate, they're still going to lose. We're at 172 to 160. It's very close. .com following up around the button. Good headshot kill on Crusader there, and is now very low on dashes. Able to hit the button there, gets another kill on 1-up, gets taken out by Taser, and now Taser deciding to play close to the button. Good double kill by Taser, tries to take out the one who is in style death spot. Ozzy gets taken out. Yoon gets taken out. Taser on an absolute roll and holds the button. However, Phoenix was able to get it. That button hold was just not quite solid enough. M-Dubs playing around this corner gets shot in the back by Ozzy. That's kind of the risk that you play in that position if you're expecting most of the enemy to be moving forward from the dash side. Taser playing a smart but difficult position here where Phoenix is just not aware of where they are. Gets 1 kill, gets 2 kills, and now UNSC... What? Taser got disconnected! Or no? No. 2 players get to... I'm glad that didn't happen on the other 2 maps. Of all maps for that to happen, Control Point I think is a decent one. It looks like all 5 players from both teams are able to make it back. However, Phoenix has a huge lead because of that server disconnect. I don't know whether or not they're going to end up replaying it later. We'll see how the rules eke out and how UNSC might call it. If UNSC ends up winning after this, honestly, I don't think they're going to restart this in any way, shape, or form. But oh no, it looks like that was a bad enough crash for both teams to decide to put aside their differences and restart the map. I think that's a good decision, honestly. There's really no reason not to at that point. Phoenix has had such a huge advantage because of that disconnect, but they also got screwed over by it. Alright. And we'll go ahead and just wait to see them restart it. I think they're going to restart it right away, though.
It's like UNSC is still down 1. I wonder if that's what we were seeing in the uprun to Control Point when all those single players were dropping out and coming back in. All right, if you're just joining us, we're about to start Control Point for a second time. First time, both teams were right around the 200 mark, and players just started dropping like flies. 4 players from UNSC at a time. They actually had all 5 players out at one time. So they just decided to restart, so we are running it back. Fingers crossed the servers can hold it together.
Red team has captured the control point. Blue team has captured the control point.
Gollum, you are muted, in case you don't know that.
Yes, thank you. I know that. I was talking for a moment with real-life people, and now UNSC trying to pull a little bit of an advantage. This might end up being a little bit of a difference maker. I'm glad that Phoenix and UNSC were very close to each other before that devastating crash, because there's not a huge justification for trying to give some sort of points advantage to one team or another, but we remember seeing that Phoenix was pulling ahead pretty solidly, and now they're starting to do that once again as they get their bearings back in this match. Good double kill by Yoon, set up with his classic 1 pistol, 1 SMG. However, UNSC is pulling ahead very slightly. Maybe they know that reset was going to be a good kind of mind reset for them too, as they were getting just slightly dominated, just dominated enough that it looked like Phoenix was going to win that match. It looks like UNSC has made the change that they need, possibly, to be able to take this next one. Good double kill by Taser. UNSC's trying to play very solidly together, and I think we're going to end up seeing Phoenix trying to make some kind of change to pull things back in their favor once again, as the map continues on. However, UNSC is 51-39, and counting upwards in UNSC's favor. Dark Ghost also in a very favorable position with that Yoon style setup. Oh, gets taken out by .com as he tries to go for the dash. He's not just watching the button anymore. Good kill by Taser taking out .com. Ozzy was playing close to the button. Taser gets taken out. Oh no, and another crash. Too. I don't know what's going on, but damn, is it frustrating. Two mass crashes in a row. What server are they playing on? Do you know?
Red team has captured the
Looks like
control
it's 3
point.
for both of them, so it's an in-between. Probably Dallas. It looks like Dallas has been a really good in-between geologically, locationally, or geographically, rather, for so many of the US teams, but it's also unfortunately been the most inconsistent server, and it seems like caused the most crashes. Obviously none of us have much access to actual server data, but it definitely feels like that's the case. Like it causes the most issues despite being the most in between. There's just not much we can do about it. Looks like blank is telling us that it was Dallas and that they're asking for a new server, trying to figure that out. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it after 2 mass crashes on that control point. Yeah, looks like we're going to be swapping out. I expect it'll be the same password, possibly the same host too, just a different server. You can go ahead and see the overall stats. I think this is just updated from last cycle. I don't know if this includes some of the matches that have happened this cycle, but who knows? It might be somewhat auto-updating. If anyone in the comments or anyone in the booth knows if that's the case, that would be awesome. And we see a lot of Phoenix up on the bottom of the kill scoreboard, but it's the bottom of the top. We got to keep that in mind. And Taser over on UNSC with 314 kills. Thank you, Servoid. Just cycle 1. That's good to know. I'm always confused about that. Taser also number 5 for kills per minute. You can absolutely feel that in the match with how dominant they are in any fight, and looking at the kills at the end of every map. Looks like we're still waiting for the server to get set up. Maybe it's not 1UP Crit's game. We can also see the screen, by the way. FireHorse, just letting you know. Alright. Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, we wait with bated breath for when this next map is going to start. Okay, has 57,000 score. That's insane. That's crazy. No wonder he's never 1UP on that scoreboard. Hodge really close behind too. That's very impressive. I'm just kind of looking over the scoreboard here. .com and MDubs over in the top 10 for score per minute. And Destroyer too.
You know, I was really surprised to not see Dark Ghost with any SMGs, but after seeing what he was doing with pistols, I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah, I liked that he was starting to pick up the Vune setup of 1 SMG, 1 pistol. That gets you to the button so much faster than trying to grab double. And there's really just no opportunity for either team to go backwards and grab the second one before dying. You really have to commit and just stay forward because this game is so aggressive and back and forth. Both these teams are so aggressive and back and forth and evenly matched. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back, but I think we're going to get started very soon.
Yeah, definitely. And with how aggressive and back and forth it was, you take the time to pick up that second SMG, and that's all it takes for one of these teams to get a defense set up. You know, get 4 players in there instead of trickling 1 and 2 into another group of 2. You know, now you're trickling 1 and 2 into a group of 4, a group of 5. You know, and that's when you start to see those really long holds on control points where they can string, 30, 40, even sometimes 50 seconds together, and that can just be so devastating. But I would be super interested to be a fly on the wall on either of these teams' comms right now. A win on Payload for Phoenix, and then the win on Quarry for UNSC. And then, you know, Phoenix was winning when all the UNSC players dropped the first time on control point. And then UNSC was winning when Phoenix just dropped on the second control point. You know, so they've been playing for quite a while now. And now we're going into, you know, what it could technically be considered the fourth map of the evening, or the fifth map of the evening. So really interested to see where, you know, two veteran teams really bring their teams together. You know, if they're talking strats, if they're just getting calm, or, you know, if they're just having fun.
Fifth map of the evening. What are we in? Finals?
Server League.
Yeah, I think this is the most restarts and continuing to move forward that we've seen so far. Maybe even in this league. I know there was a Arc versus Life or something like that last season that was a really bad server issues. They even just fully rescheduled. But here we go. Lucky attempt number 3 on control point.
1. Go.
This really has to be exhausting, both teams, players too. They've been playing for so long at this point, especially with having to restart so much, that kind of makes keeping your in-game mindset very difficult. This is a little bit of the psychological aspect of the game in play here. In Phoenix, not slowing down at all, keeps solid control of button. We remember UNSC had some advantage at the start, both of the first 2 times that control point started, and now this is going slightly in Phoenix's favor. Vune staying very close to the button, UNSC trying to get some sort of group push forward, but all of their group pushes are getting checked. There's just not enough player presence at a time. Vune misses the button. That might be a key to their downfall at this point. Yeah, Vune gets taken out by Taser. Taser moving forward to hit Benji. Benji gets taken out, but Destroyer's at the button. The Destroyer seems like likes to play very close to the button, kind of like Crusader does a little bit. UNSC's desperately trying to get some sort of hold in their advantage, but Phoenix is just able to follow up too well. However, if we look at the score, it's very close. And I also like this group push by UNSC, Aussie following up with the SMGs, trying to keep that button clear from afar, maintain some sort of kill advantage so the rest of his teammates can hit the button, but Taser now going to try and flank and prevent Aussie from setting up with the SMGs. Perfect kill by Taser. I think he's going to rotate through once again, gets taken out by Destroyer though, so he's not able to stop Aussie from setting up with the SMGs. Dart Ghost staying close around the button, UNSC getting a decent advantage. Also, in control of the button. Phoenix has control once again and now is tying up the score and starting to get the score in their advantage also, and is staying very close to the button. That's kind of key. Just because they have advantage doesn't mean they can afford to move away. Really, you're only going to win this map and keep control of the button if you keep players near it. At least one player, if not 3, near the button at all times, especially when you have advantage, just able to peek out in corners. You can see .com is bouncing all over the place, but he's always cycling back to that button. He's never stuck in one position away from it. He's always coming back. Now UNSC has control once again, but that was a very good string of seconds of hold on the part of Phoenix. UNSC trying to counter with their own long several seconds of holding. However, it looks a little bit more desperate than it did for Phoenix. There we go, Crusader left of the button. He's very good at using the button for cover and playing around it and holding it so that Phoenix isn't able to use any of the dashes you would get from hitting the button in order to move around and reposition.
Red team has captured the control point. Blue team has captured the control point.
There we go, Phoenix has a solid hold once again and has about a 10-second advantage. We're only really going to, however, consider it a solid, significant advantage if it gets to 20-25 seconds in one team's favor. That shows that there's some kind of clear difference in a hold going on that might even be an advantage you can push all the way to victory. And we started to see Phoenix eking in that direction. However, UNSC was able to follow up with just enough teammates. Phoenix starting to get control of the button once again. .com also very quickly dashing into UNSC's dash. Moves up, kills Taser. That's a huge kill. Takes out 1 up 2. I think this push by UNSC is all but checked, and now .com is on the dash once again. He's kind of got an internal clock set up for that dash. Gets taken out, but his work is done. Now the rest of Phoenix is trying to follow up on the button. However, UNSC has been very good without following up on that button and trying to keep control. Just enough players around there in different positions to distract Phoenix away from it. Wonder what happened to Taser. Okay, there we go. Taser got taken out. Now Benji is focused on the button there. Gets taken out by Taser, who is alive once again and is camping Phoenix's dash. However, I don't like this just standing on the dash, looking down the rail. You're going to get killed by somebody dashing out with a ping advantage over you. However, that said, UNSC has tied it back up and is now a very close match. However, UNSC needs to pull an advantage if they're going to end up winning this. Phoenix, meanwhile, also needs to start pulling some of their group pushes towards the button together. Taser, very good, taking out Aussie, preventing those SMGs from setting up. However, Phoenix has control of the button, tries to rotate back, but was just too low on dashes, and now Dark Ghost trying to play around the button, gets a kill. Does he get another kill? He does. Now UNSC has solid control of that button. Dark Ghost moving forward, trying to get some kills. .com able to take the dash, but not able to solo hold the button against all of UNSC, who is now set up around it. UNSC starting to pull ahead just a little bit there. We can see about almost 20 seconds in their favor. Benji moving forward, trying to go for the dash. It looks like .com took it instead. As always, .com gets every dash in this entire map. Benji, good kill there, flanking. And now trying to take out Taser and Dark Ghost, takes them out. Benji misses the dash and is now out of dash and away from the button. Luckily, the rest of his teammates were there, and now he's just going to park very close because the rest of his teammates are slowly but surely getting taken out. Good kill by .com. Did he grab rockets? He has rockets because he sees how much UNSC is parking players on the button in order to prevent Phoenix from getting dashes from hitting it and countering, and was now trying to get some surprise kills there. However, I don't think we're going to see that rocket very consistently, as UNSC would very easily be able to adapt by just not holding the button like they've been doing. UNSC also still has the advantage, and they're very slowly trying to pull ahead. However, Phoenix has done a good job of just pulling back for a second, taking a breather, grouping up, moving in with at least 3 players at a time, and that's allowing them to get control of the button once again and try and get some advantage in their favor. Taser goes in for a hold. Aussie gets the last kill there too, very well. Good job playing around the button, Aussie. I think there was just a little bit too much UNSC actually that were body blocking, preventing them from getting kills on Aussie, and Aussie meanwhile just needs to pull the trigger and his pistol will already be inside of a UNSC member's body. Phoenix now in the advantage. Aussie misses that somebody dashed past him to the button. However, he has teammates there at the button, and he's in a good flanking position, gets another kill. However, there's one UNSC member left alive. M-Dubs takes him out. Gets a hit on the button, but very low on health. I think he's going to die very soon. Now UNSC might be the first one to cross the 100 mark. There we go. UNSC crosses the 200 mark, rather, not 100. But it's still very close. What happened to Phoenix? Where is Phoenix? There's no presence, absolutely no presence around the button. It looks like they were grouping up. However, 2 of them at this point have been taken out, maybe even 3 at this point, and UNSC still has some control of the button. Is the one able to get this last kill? No, he's not, but M-Dubs is able to follow up, tries to get a kill on, what is that, Benji? And now there's one Phoenix player left around the button, Destroyer, all by himself, but had control, and then Taser takes him out, and now has control of what button once again. Taser bouncing around the button. He's not being quite as aggressive as he was last time, and I think that's actually working out in UNSC's favor. You need to keep every player around the button that you can, unless they're in a very clearly advantageous position to be able to move forward and maybe steal dashes. Aussie, unfortunately, misses the button, misses the dash, gets taken out for it. And now Crusader is holding around the button, and UNSC has an at least 20-point advantage. And it looks like they're really figuring something out with this holding here, and .com tries to make a change by grabbing rockets, but gets taken out by Taser, who kind of has the timing down for when to take out Rocketeers, and now is moving forward to the dash. I don't think he's going to get it. No, .com takes him out. Now is at the button, bouncing back and forth in a very .com way, but gets taken out by one-up crit, and his bullets drained on him. And now UNSC has control of the button once again. They have a huge advantage at this point. Phoenix really needs to change something if they're going to win. UNSC was just able to pull something together as soon as they hit that 200 mark. You can see that UNSC has been playing so close to the button. I don't want them to disrupt too much, though, or else Phoenix might actually be able to pull something back. Meanwhile, Phoenix, I need to see them grouping up just a little bit more and honestly getting those kills, those essential kills that they need in order to get control, and then stay here and hold it. We saw how closely UNSC was playing to the button, and now it seems like Phoenix is trying to reflect that. They have 4 players around it. I also like that hold into death at the button. However, UNSC was able to get a wipe. They knew where all the positions of all the Phoenix players were, and the Phoenix players weren't quite changing up their positions enough, and then UNSC was able to just dash in and take them out, and now they're at 280 points versus 237. This is looking like an absolute domination in the back third of this map, of this third attempt at control point. UNSC desperately trying to get those last 15 or 16 seconds. However, Phoenix is holding as much as possible. That might work out in their favor, that might end up working out in their detriment. as they are easy pickings off the button. And now Crusader gets a hit there, and UNSC is at about 10 seconds left before winning this last control point of UNSC versus Phoenix. We're at 7 seconds left in UNSC's favor. Dark Ghost was still alive around the button, and Crusader absolutely dominating, holding that button. We're only at 3 seconds, 2 seconds left until UNSC gets the score. How long is Phoenix going to last? They're at 261 seconds left, and UNSC wins with a double hold on the button. Aussie not able to take out both players and get the button back in their favor. Well played, especially by both teams, considering how many times they had to restart here. All the difficulties going on. That server change really made all the difference. What an exciting match to watch. .com 44 kills. Aussie also 44. Absolutely.
Taser at 57 and 34. You know, I was going to say, I thought that whole push when UNSC really started pulling ahead, they were both around 200. And I think it was Taser, I couldn't tell who it was, but got up into Phoenix's dash and disrupted and got him from 200 to 215 when Phoenix was still locked at 200. And that really started that final push where UNSC really started pulling away.
Good eyes there. I didn't notice that.
You know, the other thing that I saw kind of towards the end is they were really pulling, and you know, I don't know if it was UNSC focusing on it more or if it was .com changing up his strategy, but I really noticed .com going for button primarily, and it really allowed UNSC to build up the player numbers to take him out and then hold that button for a longer stretch at a time, where in the beginning .com was kind of a little bit more balanced between button and getting kills, and he was keeping them at bay a little bit more. And I wasn't quite able to tell kind of how that came about, but those were the kind of the two things I noticed that really allowed UNSC to take that one.
Yeah. Either way, very well played by both teams. Here's the Season 5 results from last cycle. Obviously, this is going to be changing by the end of tomorrow. And we still have a few matches left for tomorrow. We've got Emu versus Fair, Fear and Fire, Thieves and Fair, Limbo and Ga, Thieves and Team. Both Thieves and Fair getting all their matches done on the last day of the cycle. Fair enough. Power to you. You got plenty of time to prep for it. Hopefully we've got some good matches there to look forward to. And until then, I've been Not Gollum.
Hey, I've been Bird Fever.
And thank you, FireHorse, for taking care of the cast itself. We'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.